What if the world could not have come from nothing? This is not a provocation. It is a simple yet fundamental question. And yet many today claim that the universe was born out of nothing. But what exactly do we mean by nothing? Not empty space, not a diffuse energy, not even what physicists call a quantum vacuum, which is in reality a seething field of energy governed by laws. Number nothing is nothing. No space, no time, no laws, no energy, no possibility of existing. And from that kind of nothing, nothing can come. So, if the world did not come from nothing, where did it come from? And if from its very foundations, the universe bore the trace of a project, a language, a thought? By project, I do not mean a construction plan with an office and engineers. By language, I mean not only words, but a code, a structure. By thought, I mean an intention that precedes and organizes. For when we look at the universe, from galaxies to particles, we do not see chaos, but order. Physical constants of extreme precision, laws that do not change, forms that repeat, like patterns in a great tapestry. And what if this order came from an invisible yet very real source? Even a child asks, who made this? Faced with a house, a painting, a tool, or even a seashell, the first human reaction is to seek its maker. It is instinctive. It is not learned. Philosophy calls this the principle of sufficient reason. Everything that exists has a cause or an explanation. Science, too, works this way. It seeks to know why things happen. Even when we speak of random phenomena, we always look for the conditions that make them possible. So why is it that at the very moment we ask the most fundamental question, where does everything that exists come from? We are told to suspend this logic. Why suddenly accept that it came from nothing without a cause? Refusing the question at that precise moment is to give up on understanding and to call explanation what is, in truth, just a gap in our understanding. Materialism claims only matter exists, and yet it defends itself using things that are not material at all. Matter does not behave randomly. It follows laws. These laws have no mass, no color, no position. They are not material. The same is true for physical constants. The speed of light, the mass of the proton, they are values, not objects. And there must also be a logical framework in which saying, if A then B makes sense. Logic itself is not material. Materialism wants to explain everything from matter, but it uses an invisible order it cannot account for. And what about the phrase, the universe created itself? To create itself, it would first have to exist. Before existing, that is a pure contradiction. Finally, chance is sometimes invoked as the ultimate cause. But chance is not a force. It is simply a word we use to say we do not know why. Naming our ignorance does not turn it into an explanation. What if reality were first logos, a language, a thought, a meaning, before it was matter? This idea runs through history. Plato spoke of the invisible forms that give reality to things. Galileo said, the book of nature is written in the language of mathematics. And physicist John Wheeler summed it up. It from bit, everything comes from information. Today, we know that DNA is a code, that the laws of physics are like software, that the universe is readable, calculable, predictable. And if there is a code, there is a coder. And if there is a language, there is a thought behind that language. And what if we have reversed the order of things? What if thought did not come from matter, but matter itself came from thought? Before an object, there is a patent. Before music, there is a score. Before a work of art, there is an idea. These things have no mass. no tangible shape, and yet they give rise to the material world? What if the universe itself came from a reality older than matter? What if the universe itself was born from a source upstream of matter, like a cosmic score, like the great patent of reality, like a language running in execution? This before is not a question of time, but of structure, a first principle, a logical foundation that precedes matter. What if what we call the real was only the shadow of a deeper language? What if our thirst for meaning was the echo of that primal structure? What if the world had been thought before it was seen? What we call real may be the reverberation of a first act, an act that precedes all matter but remains at the heart of all that is.